Thank you, everyone. Welcome to 2025's briefing session. There's a lot to get questions, ask as we go. It's easier that way, otherwise I'll forget at the end. So, got a packed agenda. Go through the important stuff, some boring stuff, some interesting stuff, and some really exciting stuff, hopefully. Key dates, hopefully, at least I believe from under 8s upwards. We're all training now. 6s and 7s starting to phase in, and that's normal. Because the games don't start until the first Sunday after school holidays, which does seem very late this year. So we'll be starting to play from the 4th of May and we go through till the 7th of September. Football West, in their infinite wisdom, are only giving us 1 week off over the winter school holiday, where in years gone by, you get the first 2 weeks off. They've condensed it. So just the middle week, which will cause some challenges. Hopefully you're all aware, Community Day on Saturday. It's the first game of the season. We started this last year. We throw the gates open to everyone in 60, 50, 51, 52. If you live in Dianella, tough luck. Everyone else in those postcodes is free in. I reckon we had 600 people here last year. Bouncy castles, face painting, assault courses, games. Absolute chaos in the clubhouse with kids running around like utter lunatics. Should be good. So I hope to see you all here. We've been marketing it, pushing it out to the community. So please help us by pushing that. There's also a raffle. I think might be on some of the tables. It's on the windows. Please get involved. All of that money goes into the club. We'll do a Miniroos disco again this year. Probably that's Friday just before the school holidays of winter. If things are going well, the ambition is to do more parent events this year, quiz night, disco. All of those take effort. So there's a small group on the exec. The more people we can get in to help, run, coordinate, organise those events, the better. And we've launched our own academy this year, which is now currently running. So that will run through school terms. It's down on the training pitch. We use our senior coaches or JMPL and senior coaches to run that. So it's not parents doing it. More on that. That's a Community Day. We've given kids golden tickets. It was a really big day last year for the club. It's a great way to launch the season. Hopefully this year we can win that first game, not lose it. But otherwise, it's a great day. Food trucks coming as well. We'll keep the bar open late. So training, we are jam-packed this year. We are pretty much at capacity. We've gone from 0 girl teams 2 years ago to 5 girls teams, which we've had to fit in and around what we've got. So there's been some compromise. I was going to say pain, but that's probably the wrong thing. Compromise in that we have mixed teams on Monday, Wednesday, and they are deprioritized on Friday. The girls teams are prioritized for Friday. So all the girls teams are training on a Friday night, which is great because we'll be opening the bar from next Friday with our new chef who's in there rapidly cooking dinner for the first team and the seniors tonight. But more on that. We've just resecured Wordsworth, which will allow us to send some of the teams that are training tonight over there to protect the pitches because they will get torn up if we have all. I think we've got 350 players now. Those pitches will not look pretty come the middle of July. So the city had given those pitches to Dianella White Eagles, but I kicked up a bit of a stink and said, you can't give pitches in Inglewood to Dianella White Eagles. They should come to Inglewood first. So they've given us them for Tuesday and I'm fighting to get Thursday night now. So fingers crossed that's all in. But for Miniroos, our training nights are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with the exception of the 13s who get to train Tuesday night, which gives them time next to the more older boys team. So there's been more inclusive for that. I'll worry about next year when we've got 14 girls. Then can't think about that now. For those of you who don't know, the club has taken a big step forward this year and we've appointed the junior technical director. So for those of you who don't know, this is basically a very senior coach that's typically looked after just the 13s to 16s mixed teams. His focus is basically developing those players so they're ready to play under 18s and become ultimately senior players, hopefully at the club. We've expanded his remit into Miniroos, and for the coaches and the team managers, they've met him. ultimately he's there to make us better coaches or help us be better coaches, but also develop those players for us. So he looks after now 6 to 16 boys, girls, whatever. He's also driving the Inglewood Academy. So he writes, the training plans. He oversees the delivery of that academy to make sure we're hitting the standards we need. So as coaches, it's great because I now have someone critical. I had 12 parents being critical. Now I've got a TD being critical, but it's good because it helps me learn. And I think all the coaches have been extremely receptive going, I've got this problem. How do I do that? And Ian is now taking sessions. So he's taking my team next Wednesday. So I get a night off. I get to watch him. He gets to deal with the terrors that are my kids. It's all going to be fun. As I said, the Inglewood Academy is now up and running. Every Saturday morning during school term time, it's 8:30 to 9:30. Only qualified coaches are there. We've ebbed and flowed between about 18 and 23, 24 kids coming down. We've split it. Basically, you've got your kind of your 6, 7s and 8s that are developing together. And then we've got our 9s, 10s, 11s and 12s. So if there's kids that are killing it in the 6, 7, 8s, that they can obviously step up and get that. So I think it's been successful given we had nothing to go to that, and people are coming down and we're tracking it as a repeat people coming through. So hopefully we can continue to grow that. The intention will be to run that outside of season as well. So when the season finishes in September, we get that period between September and kind of Christmas where there's nothing. The intention is to run that and perhaps run that on a Friday night on the main pitch so parents can sit in here and watch people training outside and keep the kind of club ticking over through the close season. Now, the fun that is Football West. You all love and know play football and how much of a pain that is every year to register your kid to play football. Football West, in their absolute infinite wisdom, have decided to change the way we register. In years gone by, you would register your kid and you would just say, I'm not paying anything to Football West. We as the club would get a weekly invoice for everyone that's registered that week. We would pay one invoice. So we would be paying, several invoices of many thousands of dollars. Football West will no longer allow us to do that. All clubs have been impacted. So you as individuals now have to pay your play football fee direct to Football West. So that works out at about, what did I say, 83.80. Now, that causes a complication because we didn't know this was coming. So the situation we find ourselves in is when you go to register, you're going to have to pay that 83.80. If you've paid your full fees to the club, you're going to go, hey, I'm paying twice here. So we've got two options, and then obviously have to think about this now. You can choose this as you go through. You can request a refund for that money from the club, and the treasurer will slowly be unhappy that I've made him do this, but he will process all those refunds. For those of you that are in the situation where you'd like to maybe donate that to the club, we treat that as a sugar hit, and we would say to all of you, how do you want to spend that money? So let's just say 100 people put it in and we've got some money left over. We would run a survey to say, do you want to buy more equipment? Do you want to buy more stuff for the clubhouse? Are there other things where we could put that money? Because we never had it. We haven't planned for it. It's a pure sugar hit. We can move forward in an area that we weren't going to move forward in, or we give refunds. But whatever happens, they are the options we've got for people that have paid their full fees. If you haven't paid your full fees, Lala Blesser will recalculate what's left. You'll be billed for the final amount, and then you just pay that 86, whatever it is, to Football West. I can't tell you how painful this is because Lala's had to pay all of the first team 20s, 18s, and JDLs. Each one of them is an individual card transaction. So she's gone in 100 times with a credit card, cash card, and gone boom, 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 boom. I can't make her do that for 200 Miniroos. She would walk away and the club would fold. There's one person I don't upset in this club. It's Lala, because without her, we don't have a club. So appreciate that's probably disappointing that we've got to do that. But if you don't like it, I don't like it. I've complained to Football West. Every other club's complained to Football West. Football West have ostrich syndrome, buried their heads and said, get on with it. So Lala will open play football registration when I tell her, which will be once all the JDL teams are done and the seniors, which will probably be sometime next week. All coaches, team managers, you will have to have working with children checks cards in place or a receipt number to show that you've submitted it, or you will not be able to register as a coach or a team manager. Football West have come very hard down on that this year. New for this, well, expanding on what we did last year. We've employed a cook, as I said. Effie's in there now cooking food. She will be in here every Wednesday during the season. So rather than in years gone by where we've made you do a ticket system or we've, made it overly complicated, we have a chef. What we're going to do is basically, as you see the schedule here, each age group will have a dedicated night. On that night, at least 2 first team players will come down and train those kids. It's important for me that those boys out there build a bond with our kids that are here, because this is our fan base. If we don't do that, these first team players are nobody to them. We want to build that connection from the top of the club to the bottom of the club. So 2 first team players will come down, they will train the kids, and then they'll come and have dinner with them afterwards. So every age group gets at least 1 meal, 2 meals. The idea is under 6 coming, but if other teams want to come in and eat on that night, whatever food is available from the chef will be available. But ultimately, we're trying to go, here's your team's night. So food will be available, cheap booze, all the good stuff that will come in. So hopefully that works and makes it a little easier. As I say, the expectation is that, if you're the team in, you tidy up after yourself. That's about it, really. So might have to help with serving if there's a lot of people in here, but it should be pretty light touch. And hopefully, the kids have some fun. The senior players were down last night coaching some of the kids because they were pushing the first game of the season. I think the kids all appreciate, talking to those players that are out there. All right. Key volunteer role.
Sorry, is that going to be, that's going to be disseminated, right? You're distributing this presentation to everyone, yeah? By email, I assume, or something? Or through the team manager, so we can get all of the...
I will ask Tanil to push this out.
Yeah, great. So we can actually have the schedule on our calendars. Cool, thank you.
Yep. So we are looking for some key volunteering roles. I'm currently balancing junior chair and president. It's nearly killing me. Most of the hard yards are done with that junior chairperson after this kind of launch, but we really need someone to kind of drive the junior agenda forwards. Represent the junior teams on the board. I say come to battle for funding, but ultimately pitching and go, this is what the juniors need. This is what the juniors are asking for. Like, you need a voice on the board. And yes, I've got 2 kids here. Yes, I coach, but I'm always going to be conflicted. The more voice we've got on the board, or the more voices we have coming in, the more inclusive that experience is likely to be, because I'm biased to myself, obviously. So if there's anyone out there that is interested in the junior chairperson, from where we were a few years ago to where we are now, it's a much more manageable role. We know what the flow of things is we know what we need to do and we need to do it, and it's not needing to be built from the ground up. Equally, the equipment manager, it's another role I was covering because I got made redundant in October, so I had some time, got a lot of stuff sorted. So the equipment manager really is just basically making sure that we've got enough balls out there, enough bibs, enough cones. We've got the goals, and those requests come in because we don't know what we're missing. Like, that person's basically out there going, under 12s, that their balls are knackered, they're fall to pieces. Can we have another 10 of them? Like, it's just a channel to come through to the board and go, look, we're thinking we'd like this equipment next year. We've made a big investment this year. We've bought another 10 pop-up goals. We've been very lucky to get some donations on under 8s goals, and those boxes there are brand new 10 to 12 goals. They're lightweight aluminium ones, so parents aren't putting their backs out dragging out those big goals. We need more equipment, but we need someone to basically own and drive that forward. Tanil gracefully took on volunteer coordinator in a greatly reduced capacity to last year's pain. A website administrator would be lovely. Our website's an embarrassment. It's someone to go through and strip it back to the absolute bare bones, so it looks professional, simplify, and then make it easy to administer. There's too much crap on there. You can't find what you're looking for. Anyone looking at our website is going to think we're not professional, and website is kind of the front door for some people. And then we're looking for a grants lead. We have an idea that all of those advertising boards around the outside that are looking a bit sorry for themselves could ultimately be an art installation. So the City of Stirling have told me there's up to $20,000 if someone can write a grant, and that means contacting local artists, getting quotes, and then putting together a grant package, and we'd be able to turn that into something for the community. All right. VIP days and volunteering. Last year was a big year in terms of raising the level of volunteering in the club. We put the volunteer levy in, and I think I would say most people did some volunteering. We went from a very low base to a very high base, but it killed poor Tennille and Cubs, chasing people on a weekly basis, trying to find people to fill volunteering spots. So to simplify things this year, the idea is that we combine a team's VIP day with their volunteering, I'll say commitments, volunteering requirements. So I'm under 11s, we're first up. So when we play Mandra in a week's time, the under 11s will take care of all of the volunteering on the match day whilst they're having their VIP day. The thought process being, you're here anyway, you're going to be at your VIP day, just crack out the volunteering that's needed that day. And then we can basically delegate that down to a team manager, go, team manager, this is your home game. You set the VIP day up, you do the jobs that are needed on that day, and then everyone goes home happy at the end of it. We may change the under 6 and under 7s against Subiaco to a different day if they're doing clusters at that point, because that would be a bit much to have them do a Saturday and a Sunday. But every team's been allocated a day. We will open up the VIP box for that team. They'll go up in the top. We'll make it a bigger thing for them. And ultimately, that becomes their day. So hopefully, by pushing that out, Tennille's not killing herself, pulling her hair out, trying to find people to do those things. We go, this is it. She can check the list and go, hey, Anne, Mandra, you got 4 open spots. What are you doing about it? And then we will follow Sam's approach of just volunteering people. And hopefully it all runs smoothly. Now, there will be games, and I know let's just pick the under 12s where a bunch of people have paid the volunteer levy. So we'll find those people from across the club. We're not expecting, if there's 6 people in the under 12s that are volunteering to do 25 roles, it won't happen. So we just need to know that, and then we can manage that. So it should, in theory, work a little easier this year. What we expect out of that, set up the VIP room up at the top, manage the gate. Game marshals is probably the easiest thing. You stand there, occasionally throw the ball back in, then tidy up from the VIP day. So it's not a huge amount that's needed, but it is critical for the club that those Saturdays run smoothly. That's how we present ourselves out there to the footballing community. And there are good days when they come on. On to the exciting stuff. Probably the biggest thing that struck me at this place, it's closed probably 95% of the year. We pay our insurance, we pay our rent, and we do nothing with the place. It literally is a bar that's unused, which I can't live with myself with that. So we're launching a social club this year. Tennille's spent many hours backwards and forwards with me building, taking on my feedback and Gemma's for the flyer, but we're now ready to launch. So next week we'll walk the flyers around, do the old-fashioned letterbox. But what is it? It's our new social club that's open to everyone and anyone. Cheap food, cheap drink. We've hired a chef. We'll open Wednesdays through Friday, and then Saturdays after match days. And if all goes well, that'll be expanded to include Saturdays and Sundays. So we could find ourselves running a mini restaurant as we used to do back in the day when Marco Parco was here. The reason we're doing this is to put the club back at the heart of the community and leverage these facilities. I think for Inglewood Primary's year 6 leaving, they were going to go to the bowler, and we said, no, come here. They were here from, 3 o'clock, and I think I was turfing the last people out at 9, 10 o'clock. And they said it's a much nicer atmosphere than the bowler because the kids could just run around. You've got a ball to kick around. We've got 2 pool tables coming, potentially air hockey and other things. If it takes off, then we'll have more money to spend on, doing things up in here and turning this into a place that people want to come. So we launch next Friday. I hope it goes well. I've got no idea, but you got to try these things, right?
Yeah.
That's it from me. I'll hand over to Heath in a second, but if you've got any questions, I know there's a lot of content to get through there. Oh, I must have done a great job if there's no questions.
I think that about volunteers.
He's a backseat driver, that one, if you notice.
Can you hear me?
But I'm the last person.
You're the last person.
Hello, everyone. So if you don't know me, Heath De Silva is my name. So I'm your last speaker before you get to go. But I've got two boys here at the club. So my young son, Luke's in the under 11s. And I've got an older son in the under 14s. And my oldest also played through here. So I've been at the club for about 10 or 11 years. And what hopefully you've heard through all the theme that Ant spoke about tonight is this club is really relying on volunteers, commitment and community engagement. And hopefully, and I've seen it in the last couple of years, the last year alone, you've seen a huge change in how that's improved and how we're getting a lot more community involvement, a lot more people from the local area, and there's lots of positive things happening. We rely on volunteers for a lot of that. But the other one we just wanted to talk to, and I just put up, and I just kind of started to put these up today, is just about sponsorships. So just putting it out there, if you've got your own private business or know somebody, a family member, for a small package, it really makes a big difference to the club. So, we're not there yet, but that's all right. So for a long time, we've relied heavily on one or two people, and what we're trying to do, or two businesses, what we're trying to do is diversify that across, get lots of more community businesses. We put your names up on the banners across there. We'll actively promote you on our website through our match days and all the other bits and pieces. So I've come on board taking over for Jerry that was doing this last year. But I put this up. There's a little barcode there that takes you through a QR code if you wanted to follow through. Put the word out. We're always looking for new sponsors, getting commitment from the community. And secondly, again, just hoping to promote that you can be part of the team. So there's lots of merchandise that we're trying to move through, get rid of the old stock. If you go to this QR code again, it takes you through to the Macron store. And then you can buy caps, shirts, jerseys. I just bought some more stuff for my kids. They're always stealing my gear to wear to training. So I've started to buy a few more bits and pieces. But those are now around the outside. And if you wanted to talk about either of those topics, you're more than welcome to come and grab me today or any other day to talk through it. All right. Thank you very much. And I think Gemma's just going to talk about volunteers. No.
Yeah. Volunteers hadn't been mentioned just yet. Community Day, as I mentioned, is this weekend. We've got a lot going on. Bouncy castles, face painters, air hockey inside. We're going to have the PlayStation up on the big screen. It's an amazing day. We had so many people down last year. None of that happens without volunteers. Right now, if you see on the door, all those white stripes, thank you, Guy, all those white stripes are the gaps I've got on the day. So right now, if I can't fill those gaps literally in the next day, I've got to cancel. So I've got to cancel bouncy castles because I've got no one manning them. So please, if you're going to be down for an hour, please consider if you could, or even half an hour, I can break it down. But I would be very grateful. Thank you.
Guy, lock the doors. And leave it till the white gaps are filled. So any questions, feedback, hit mark, it's clear. And hopefully you're seeing improvement and year on year.
Can you hear us? Hello?
Did someone say anything?
Yeah, we can hear. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you can hear you.
Hey guys. Yeah, sorry, Andre here. Just had a question regarding is it Ian, the technical director you were speaking of? And yeah, I know when he presented to the coaches or introduced himself to the coaches, he was obviously planning to get around to each of the age groups and teams. Does he have a schedule of or an anticipated schedule of which sessions he's attending when?
He has given me the next couple of weeks. So he's done the 12s. He's doing 11 blue next week, 11 green the week after, then the 2 10s teams the week after that. So he's going top to bottom. So logic will assume that he will move through the teams that way. And then what I'm going to do is work out how we get the girls down on a Wednesday or him down on a Friday so that it's spread across the entire club.
Yes, yeah. And would you just be relaying those dates to the team managers?
Coaches, the team coach, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just so we can let everyone know.
Yep.
So they don't miss it. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
I possibly get an indication of sponsorship packages? I know that I'm on my phone, so I can't scan the QR, but just a figure roundabout.
We can go from, and I'm open because it's all on there. So essentially, like the top package for either for the stadium or for a kind of the first team is anything above 10,000 a year. But we've got packages down to banners on the side of the pitch for $1,500 and everything in between. And we're open to other ideas because we've built packages, but there may be other things people want to do that we haven't thought about.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But Heath's your man. He's got a long list. There's a PDF, isn't there, of all of the different.
There is. So there's a flyer. If anybody's interested, you can reach out to me. So the question was about what are the cost of the packages. And that's absolutely right. We've got a flyer with the ones that we've put together. It's also tax deductible for your business. There's lots of great opportunities and cross promotion in the community. So it's a great way as well to show support. And probably if I didn't say it, that money goes towards the club and the equipment we buy for the club and for our kids and all of those types of things. So it's a great cause as well. That'll help.
And I know a lot of people will say, oh, that money then goes to the first team. The first team's taken care of. The money we're raising from sponsorship is being reinvested back into those areas. We weren't able to buy all of the goals and the balls and everything that we've done without the sponsorship. It allows us to do the extra stuff.
I've got a question.
We've just got one question coming through, so I'll repeat it when Matt's done.
Yeah. So maybe like a playground for the kids or something, so we can encourage parents that can go, I'm going to come here and sing some piss, and my kids are at the playground and what have you.
So just so we lease this from the city of Stirling, so I'm constrained by the terms of the lease. Under the terms of the lease, I can't put a playground in. That doesn't mean we can't negotiate with them, but knowing what Inglewood Primary School went through to get a certified playground and the insurance you then need on top of that, we would need the social club to be making good money before. Air hockey, arcade machines, stuff that kids can't kill themselves. Well, they'll find a way anyway, but shouldn't be able to kill themselves with. And that is one of the challenges that we will find if we want to put a playground in. It's something I did look at immediately and went, oh, fucker. But if we can make it work. Sorry, there was a question online.
Yeah, it's my name's Simon Woolley. I'm Harrison's dad. I'm just wondering, he's only going to be in under sevens this year. I was wondering what age group they start. Do you start grading them and putting them into teams based on like their ability?
So the general practice with sixes and sevens is to have balanced teams. So if the team is 4-a-side with a sub or 2, you try and have, like, let's just say 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's, because you don't want, like, some clubs will just put all the best players together and all the not so great players together. We grade from under 8 because the teams go into a colour system. So 8s and 9s, you have blue, purple, yellow. Yeah. Blue is the higher ability, purple is the mid ability, yellow is the developers. And then when you get to 10s, 11s and 12s, it goes to 7 grades. So we have to grade at that point. But what we haven't done, like a lot of other clubs, is we haven't trialed. I think our retention rate this year was something like 95% of everyone we've kept. We haven't had to run an open day as we have done in the past. We've just retained the players we want. The only team that we really trialed this year was for the 12s, because Football West have changed the method in which 12s goes to 13. So we needed to trial for that. Everything else was 10s. Well, no, you needed to grow, but you grew and you retained all the players you wanted to retain. So we haven't gone out and competitively gone like, you're at 8s, you've got a spot here this year, but you're going to have to trial and earn that spot next year. We believe, my philosophy is we need to build loyalty. We're a community club. I don't see the point in rebuilding a whole team every year. People should know You come here as a 6-year-old. If you want to stay here up until 12, where we have to grade, you got to.
Yep. No, that's fine. I just
enrolled
that was all. Just
enrolled this year.
Yep.
Well, I had to go to Bayswater, so if you guys have enough plans, are there any plans to
No space.
under 9s and that? Because
No space at all. Look, we could, like, I personally don't want to see a situation like Bayswater where the juniors are disconnected from the home ground. So we've deliberately gone. We 3 years ago we looked at it and said, where do we want to grow? And we said we want to grow the girls. We'll do 2 mixed teams, and we'll have a girls team. And we said there'll be 3 paths. There's the elite mixed, the social mixed, and a girls. And the path now is to grow the girls to 14s to 18s. Opportunistically, next season we'll hunt for a senior women's team. It'll be, social to stop, but that's the growth area for us. If we have more space, absolutely, but yeah, we're struggling as it is. So, any more? Thank you very much, everyone. If there are. Look,
training versus game day?
So,
like, what?
Yep.
Is there a list of
so
items that we'll need?
The club loans out the training tops, so everyone will get a training top. This is the new girls one, so these go out, and the premise being you'll grow out of this. So no point in you keeping this, right? So yeah, that's playing top. Sorry,
That's the older kid.
So we loan out the playing tops. You buy a training top, you buy the shorts and the socks. The shorts and the socks are for game day, but you can train in them as well.
Yeah.
The royal and the yellow socks. Yep.
That's all.
This is the new one.
Oh, okay.
There's the same way. Son stolen mine, so I've just gone and bought another one here tonight. They're the older ones. But there's a cotton one as well for the junior kids that you can buy. And I'm more than happy to. We've got a brochure over here. We can take you.
Do you have sizes in there as well, or is it just?
Yeah, we've got some stock in there. Yes,
we have some here. Otherwise, again, you can go onto the Macron store and buy a top-up kit. But I'm happy to kind of go through some tonight. Yeah, absolutely.
So those that have ordered kit, it's in bags in there, so team managers will be able to come and collect that. As always, we have to forecast the kit that's going to be ordered. So there's a few gaps, and that's been put into Macron. So the gaps will be filled long before we start playing football in May. So we haven't gone hard on that. If you're training, you must wear an Inglewood top. Maybe next year we'll look at that and go, wouldn't it be great if Wednesday and Friday everyone's in the same stuff? So we raise the bar again. But for this year, we thought, no, let's just keep going the way we are, and we'll review that next year.
Thanks for clarifying that. I've been having arguments with my boy. I'm like, you will rock up in training gear. And he says I doesn't have to. So
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. I would love us all to do that. And that's where we want to move ourselves to, is that everybody on their Wednesday and Friday is in Inglewood training gear.
But for now, he wins and he can wear what he likes. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Question from the floor.
Fiction. Are they 1 to 2 weeks out from the start of the season?
Yeah, this is Football West, and it'll be the same as it was last year. You'll go into the nominated grades you're in, and then if you're killing it, you ask to get bumped up. If you're getting beaten, you ask to go down. But we've been realistic. Most of the people now know it's always those transition years of kind of 7s to 8s and 9s to 10s. So, any more? All right. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I'll get the pack sent out to everybody. I have sent the team managers the VIP day roster with all of the sign-up links. Everything is in the system, so you can be super organized and start getting people in now. Last year, we did track everyone's volunteer hours. Most people did it. I'm hoping this year we don't need to do that. I'm hoping that team managers will know the people in their team that, you know, are doing the things like refereeing, are the coaches, you know, are doing the extras, because you're closer to your team than you know, myself and Tennille can be.
So refereeing does count as volunteering?
Oh yeah, you're doing an hour of it. Yeah. It's the hardest job after coaching. You're just gonna, whatever you do as a referee, you're wrong. So yeah, definitely.
Parents is the hardest bit.
Sorry.
Arguing.
Yeah. So look, we know there's a bunch of roles out there that are significantly more than the 3 hours that we asked for, you know, coaching, team manager, refereeing, the board stuff. It's just the minimum, right? If every single person who doesn't pay the volunteer levy puts 3 hours in, we've got hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteering, which allows us to do lots of things like get goals painted, you know, make the place look more appealing. There's a raft of things we could do with this place with the labour force we've got available to us. And we're always open to people who want to do stuff like, we'd love to get out the back concrete so those goals don't get stuck in the sand. So if anyone's got a concreting business or an aggregate business, we'd love that. Like, we're allowed to improve the premise. We just have to ask City of Stirling for permission to do those things. So,
and we can do that in lieu of.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we see that as, you know,
does it stuff, please let us know. We'll talk about what we can be able to do.
Yeah. The only other thing is, and I can't vote because I'm a resident, is that Labour won and we've got $1 million to replace all our floodlights, which I'm pretty happy about, because we've gone from having no commitment to $1 million, which will basically turn the main pitch into a solarium and 200 watts out the back. So we will get all of the back lit up because there's a bunch of dark areas out there that aren't very good. The next thing we're targeting is the feds, because we want the stadium done up. We need 6 changing rooms, because to have senior women playing football out there, we need, if you've ever been into the bowels of the stadium, they're pretty open. There's 4 changing rooms, but the 2 away changing rooms and 2 home changing rooms are completely see-through. So we can't actually, if we were to have women's football here, we wouldn't be able to let them play on the main pitch, or we began, you're getting changed. I don't know, you're not getting changed somewhere, which it's unacceptable for me to be in that situation. So we're pushing hard with the feds, both the Libs and Labour, to commit to funding to doing up the stadium to allow us to bring senior women football here. That's it. Bars open. Drink your heart's content. Thank you, everyone online, for your time.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Having else to volunteer on Saturday, please write your name on.